Hello, my dear children. Welcome to the mathematics class. Today we are going to discuss continuity and differentiability. Exercise 5.6. Exercise 5.6. Page number 181. Page number 181. Question number 6. I am explaining here question number 6. Okay, my dear children. Right. If x and y are connected parametrically by the equations x is equal to a of theta minus sine theta, y is equal to a into 1 plus cos theta. Without eliminating the parameter, find dy by dx. In the previous class also we have discussed how to find dy by dx if parametric equations are given. These two equations are said to be parametric equations. Okay, my dear children. Right. So first we write given equation, given parametric equations. X is equal to a into theta minus sine theta. Here y is equal to a into 1 plus cos theta. I wrote the two parametric equations separately, and this side I am finding differentiation, and this side also I find differentiation separately. Okay, my dear children. So observe this equation. Here x is defined in the variable what? In which variable the x is defined? Yes, theta. So we have to differentiate this equation with respect to theta. First of all, you have to identify in the parametric equations what is a variable defined. The two variables x and y are defined in which variable. Okay, my dear children. Right. So here the differential operator is d by d theta. What is the differential operator? D by d theta. So I am writing the differential operator on both sides. So this implies d by d theta of x is equal to d by d theta of a into theta minus sine theta. Understood this step, my children? Right. This implies d by d theta of x. What will you get here? Dx by d theta. D by d theta of x is equal to dx by d theta is equal to, come to RHS part. If you observe this function, in this function a is the numerical coefficient, arbitrary constant. So we can write it outside. We can write it before the differential operator. Okay, my children, understood this point? Right. So I wrote this a outside. Now these two are two terms. Theta is one term and sine theta is the second term. So we can find the differentiations of these two terms separately. So I am writing d by d theta of theta minus d by d theta of sine theta. Understood this part, my children, in RHS? Right. I wrote the reason also, because d by d theta of x is equal to dx by d theta. Understood this step, my children? Right. This implies dx by d theta is equal to a into, if you observe this function, it is in the form of d by dx of x. In the place of x, theta is there. Just variable changed. Then what is the formula? D by d theta of theta is in the form of d by dx of x. Then what is the form? What is the answer? 1. D by dx of x is equal to 1. Understood this term, my dear children? Right. Minus d by d theta of sine theta. It is in the form of d by dx of sin x. Understood, my dear children? It is in the form of d by dx of sin x. What is the formula? D by dx of sin x is equal to cos x. So cos theta, because here variable is theta. Here both sides, both places theta is there. So cos theta. Understood this term, my dear children, in RHS? Right. Similarly, we find differentiation on this side. Okay, my children. So y is equal to a into 1 plus cos theta. I have already written this side. What is the differential? What is the variable here? Theta. Here y is defined in the variable theta. So we are differentiating this equation with respect to theta. Understood, my children? Right. So what is the differential operator? D by d theta. Right. So d by d theta of y is equal to d by d theta of a into 1 plus cos theta. Understood this step, my children? In this step, I wrote only differential operator on both sides. Understood this step, my children? Right. This implies, see, LHS d by d theta of y is there. What is the value of d by d theta of y? dy by d theta. Understood LHS, my children? Right. That is equal to, if you observe this function, here a is a numerical coefficient. So we can write a outside before the differential operator we can write. So I wrote here a outside into the remaining terms are two terms are there. One is the first term and cos theta the second term. So we can find the differentiations of these two terms separately. So I wrote here d by d theta of 1 plus d by d theta of cos theta. Understood this part, my children, in RHS? Right. I wrote the reason also, because d by d theta of y is equal to dy by d theta. We reused this result in LHS. Okay, my children? Understood? Right. This implies I wrote LHS part as it is, dy by d theta is equal to, come to RHS part, my children, a into, here d by d theta of 1. What is the suitable differentiation formula? D by dx of constant. D by dx of 1 is a constant, no variable is there. So we use that formula. D by dx of constant is 0. Any number, whatever the number, only constant is there, no variable. In that case, its differentiation is 0 plus d by d theta of cos theta. If you observe this function, it is in the form of d by dx of cos x. Understood this part, my children? What is the formula d by dx of cos x? Minus sin x. So minus sin in the place of x, theta is there. So we wrote theta. Understood this part in RHS, my children? Right. So I wrote here the formulas, because d by dx of x is equal to 1 and d by dx of sin x is equal to cos x. By using these two formulae, we wrote the step. Understood that step, my children? Right. This implies dx by d theta is equal to a into 1 minus cos theta. This is the value of dx by d theta. Understood this part, my children? Right. Now come to this side. Here also I am writing the formulae which were used in this step. What are the formulas we used here? D by dx of constant is equal to 0 and d by dx of cos x is equal to minus sin x. We used these two formulas in this step. Okay, my children? Right. This implies dy by d theta is equal to, if you simplify RHS, we get minus a sin theta. Understood this step, my children? Right. We found here dx by d theta and here dy by d theta. Now come to dy by dx. We have to find now dy by dx. How can you find dy by dx? Dy by d theta by dx by d theta by using the chain rule. Okay, my children? Understood? Right. So in this step, we substitute dy by d theta value and dx by d theta value. Okay, my children? Right. That is equal to, what is the value of dy by d theta? Yes, we got here minus a sin theta. So in the numerator, I wrote minus a sin theta. Now come to the denominator. What is the value of dx by d theta? A into 1 minus cos theta. I wrote that value in the denominator. Understood this step, my children? Right. That is equal to, Now simplification part is left. We substituted dy by d theta and dx by d theta in the numerator as well as in the denominator. Okay, my children. Right. Now if we observe here, a is the common factor, so we can strike out here, and here a is there, so we can strike out. After striking out the common factor a, what will you get here? Minus sin theta by 1 minus cos theta. Understood this step, my children? Right. That is equal to minus, here sin theta is there, we use here half angle formula. Do you remember the half angle formula, my dear children? Yes. Sin A is equal to 2 sin A by 2 cos A by 2. This is called half angle formula. So in the place of A, theta is there, so we write that formula 2 sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2. Understood this numerator part, my dear children? Right. By come to the denominator part, 1 minus cos theta. Here also we use the half angle formula. 1 minus cos A is equal to 2 sin square A by 2. Do you remember this formula, my dear children? Right. We use this formula in the denominator. In the place of A, theta is there. So 2 sin square theta by 2. Understood the denominator part, my dear children? Right. This implies by simplifying the numerator and denominator, see here 2 is a common factor, so we can strike out. Similarly here sin theta by 2, here sin square theta by 2 is there, so 1 sin theta by 2 gets cancelled. So in the numerator, what will be left here? Cos theta by 2 only. Understood this numerator part, my children? Right. By what will be left in the denominator after cancellation? Sin theta by 2 only. Understood the denominator part also, my children? Right. That is equal to minus, it is in the form of cos A by sin A. What is the value of cos A by sin A? Cot A. So we can write cot A means here theta by 2. Understood this statement, children? Right. This is the value of dy by dx. Therefore dy by dx is equal to minus cot theta by 2. Understood, my children? Right. Because cos A by sin A is equal to cot A. That is why we wrote minus cot theta by 2. Understood this statement, children? Right. Therefore dy by dx is equal to minus cot theta by 2. This is the value of dy by dx. Understood, my children? Right. Now come to the question number 7. Now we are going to discuss question number 7. Okay, my children? If x and y are connected parametrically by the equations x is equal to sin cube t by square root of cos 2t, comma y is equal to cos cube t by square root of cos 2t. Parametric equations are given here. Okay, my dear children? Without eliminating the parameter, find dy by dx. Here we have to find dy by dx without eliminating the parameter. What is the parameter here? Yes, t. The two variables x and y are connected with the variable t. So here t is said to be parameter. Okay, my dear children? Understood that point? You have to identify the parameter first. Okay, right. Now come to the first equation. Given x is equal to sin cube t by square root of cos 2t. First I am finding the differentiation of this equation. Okay, my dear children? We have already found what is the parameter. So we differentiate with respect to t. Okay, my dear children? Right. This implies d by dt. What is the differential operator? D by dt. So we write d by dt on both sides of this equation. This implies d by dt of x is equal to d by dt of sin cube t by square root of cos 2t. Understood this step, my children? Just we have written the differential operator d by dt on both sides. Okay, my children? Right. This implies in LHS, if we observe It is d by dt of x. What is the value of d by dt of x? Yes, dx by dt is equal to, understood LHS part, my children? Right. Now come to the RHS part. It is d by dt of sin cube t by square root of cos 2t. If you observe the entire function here, it is in the form of f of x by g of x. D by dx of f of x by g of x. So we use here quotient rule. That formula is suitable. We have to identify the suitable formula to find differentiation. Okay, my children. So here this function is in the form of f of x by g of x. So we use that quotient rule. Do you remember the formula? Quotient rule formula, my children? Yes. G of x, that is square root of cos 2t into d by dt of sin cube t, means d by dx of f of x, minus, understood this first term, my children, in the numerator? Right. Minus f of x means numerator sin cube t into d by dt of denominator square root of cos 2t whole divided by, understood the second term, my children, in the numerator? Right. Whole divided by g of x whole square, means denominator whole square. What is the denominator here? Root cos 2t. So square root of cos 2t whole square. Understood the denominator part, my children? Right. See here, because d by dx of t is equal to dt by dx, and d by dx of f of x by g of x is equal to g of x into d by dx of f of x minus f of x into d by dx of g of x whole divided by g of x whole square. I wrote these two formulas. We use these two formulas in this step. Understood, my dear children? Right. This implies I wrote to LHS part as t is dx by dt is equal to, see, RHS part root cos 2t into d by dt of sin cube t. How can you find the differentiation of this function? It is in the form of d by dx of x power n. D by dx of x power n. So we use that formula. So what is the formula for d by dx of x power n? Yes, n into x power n minus 1. Here x means sin t and n means 3. So 3 sin square t. Understood this part, my children? By using this formula, we wrote this part. Okay, my children? Right. Into d by dt of sin t. D by dt of sin t. We use here chain rule. Okay, my children? Right. Minus, understood this first term, my children, in the numerator? Right. Minus sin cube t into, it is in the form of d by dx of root x. It is in the form of d by dx of root x. What is the formula? D by dx of root x, 1 by 2 root x. So, but here t is not there, cos 2t is there. So, we use here chain rule. So, 1 by 2 root cos 2t into d by dt of cos 2t. We assumed here this entire function is x in our mind. D by dx of root x means 1 by 2 root x formula into, again we used the chain rule. Understood this part, my children? Right. Divided by square root and square gets cancelled. What will you get here? Cos 2t. Understood the denominator part, my children? Right. So in this step, what are the formulas we used here? D by dx of x power n is equal to n into x power n minus 1. We use this formula. And d by dx of root x is equal to 1 by 2 root x formula. And chain rule also we used. Understood, my children? Right. This implies I wrote LHS part as it is dx by dt is equal to root cos 2t into 3 sin square t. I wrote this part also as it is. Come to this part, d by dt of sin t. Which formula is suitable for this function? D by dx of sin x. Isn't it, my dear children, or not? Yes. So d by dx of sin x is equal to cos x. So cos t, because variable is the t here. Okay, my children, right? Understood this part, my children? Right. Minus, by simplifying this part, what will you get? Sin cube t by 2 root cos 2t. Understood this part, my children? Right. Into d by dx of cos x. Imagine, assume 2t as x in your mind. So d by dx of cos x, it is in the form of d by dx of cos x. What is the formula d by dx of cos x? Minus sin x. So minus sin x means here 2t only. In our mind we assumed 2t. Okay, my dear children, right, into d by dt of 2t, because we assumed 2t as x in our mind. So we used here chain rule. Understood this part, my children? Right. Whole divided by cos 2t. Understood this step, my children? Right. This implies I wrote LHS as it is, that is dx by dt is equal to root cos 2t into 3 sin square t into, it is in the form of d by dx of sin x. What is the formula d by dx of sin x? Cos x. Okay, my children, in our mind we assumed here t as x, d by dx of sin x is equal to cos x. Understood this part, my children? Right. Minus, by simplifying this part we get sin cube t by 2 root cos 2t into d by dt of cos 2t. It is in the form of d by dx of cos x. Assume this part 2t as x in your mind. So minus sin 2t into d by dt of 2t, because we assume 2t as x in our mind. So we are differentiating that also. Whole divided by cos 2t. Understood, my children? Right. What are the formulas we used here in this step? D by dx of sin x is equal to cos x here for this part, and d by dx of cos x is equal to minus sin x formula we used here, and chain rule also. We used chain rule also here. Understood, my children? Right. Right. In LHS dx by dt is there. I wrote dx by dt as it is in LHS. Okay, my children? That is equal to, in RHS, come to this part, in the numerator, if you simplify this part, what will you get? 3 sin square t cos t into root of cos 2t. Understood this first term, my children? Right. Now come to the second term in the numerator. What will you get here? Minus into minus, we get a plus sign. Okay, my children, after simplifying this one, what will you get? Sin cube t into sin 2t by 2 root cos 2t. Understood this part, my children? Right. And d by dt of 2t, what will you get? 2 only, because 2 is a numerical coefficient, we write it outside. Then d by dt of t means 1. So 2 into 1, 2 only. I wrote that differentiation value directly here. Understood this part, my children? Right. Whole divided by cos 2t. I wrote denominator as it is. Understood this step, my children? Right. This implies dx by dt, I wrote LHS as it is equal to, if you take LHS, if you say here 2 gets cancelled in this term, 2 gets cancelled, then by taking the LCM of the denominators of these two terms, what will you get? Root cos 2t is the LCM. Understood, my children? Right. Then what will you get here? 3 sin square t cos t into root cos 2t into root cos 2t. What will you get here? Cos 2t only. Understood this part, my children? Right. Plus sin cube t into sin 2t. Understood this part, my children? Right. Whole divided by root cos 2t, LCM. Whole divided by cos 2t, already denominator is there. Understood this part, my children? Right. This implies I wrote LHS part as it is dx by dt is equal to, here we are writing this numerator as it is as the numerator part, 3 sin square t into cos 2t plus sine cube t into sine 2t by this comes into denominator. So cos 2t into root cos 2t. Understood this step, my children? Right. We are simplifying the function. We have already found dx by dt, but we are writing the simplest form of the given function. Okay, my children? That is equal to 3 sine square t into cos t into cos 2t plus sine cube t into sine 2t. We wrote the numerator part as it is, divided by cos 2t into root cos x. Root x is equal to how can you write? X power 1 by 2. This is a radical sign. We are writing this one in the form of exponential function. So cos 2t whole power 1 by 2. Understood this part, my children? Remaining part as it is we wrote here in this step. Okay, my children? Right. That is equal to, we write the numerator part as it is, that is 3 sine square t into cos 2t plus sine cube t into sine 2t whole divided by, if you observe the denominator, it is in the form of a power m into a power n. Bases are equal. If bases are equal, what will you do here? We add the exponents. So cos 2t whole power 1 plus 1 by 2. 1 plus 1 by 2. What will you get here? 3 by 2. We used here a power m into a power n is equal to a power n plus 1. Loss of exponents. In the denominator, we used this loss of exponents. Okay, my children? Understood? Right. We have found dx by dt. Similarly, we have to find dy by dt. Okay, my children? So I have taken the next second equation, that is y is equal to cos cube t by root cos 2t. What is the parameter here? T. So we are differentiating with respect to t. Okay, my children? Right. Then what is the differential operator? D by dt. So I wrote the differential operator on both sides. D by dt of y is equal to d by dt of cos cube t by root cos 2t. Understood this step, my children? Right. Now come to the LHS part. What will you get here? D by dt of y, dy by dt only. Understood this LHS, my children? Right. Now come to the RHS part. Observe this function. It is in the form of d by dx of u by v. U by v rule or quotient rule. We use here quotient rule. Assume this function as u in your mind and assume this function as v in your mind. Okay, my children? So d by dx of u by v. What is the formula? D by dx of u by v? V into d by dx of u minus u into d by dx of v by v square. I wrote here formula also. Okay, my children? Do you remember this formula? Quotient rule. Okay, my children? So we apply this formula to find differentiation of this function. Okay, my children? Right. So v means here root cos 2t. So root cos 2t into d by dt of u. What is u here? Cos cube t. Understood this first term, my children? Right. Minus, come to the second term, u. What is u here? Cos cube t into d by dt of v. What is v here? Root cos 2t. Understood this second term, my children? Right. Whole divided by v square, root cos 2t whole square. Understood this denominator part, my children? Right. What are the formulas we used here in this step? D by dt of y is equal to dy by dt and d by dx of u by v is equal to v into d by dx of u minus u into d by dx of v by v square. Understood, my children? Right. Now come to the next step. I wrote LHS as it is. In the next step, dy by dt as it is equal to root cos 2t into, if you observe this function, it is in the form of d by dx of x power n. D by dx of x power n. We use that formula. Okay, my children? So what is x here? Cos t. What is n here? 3. So 3 cos square t. Understood this part, my children? We applied d by dx of x power n formula to this one by assuming cos t as x in your mind, and n is equal to 3. So 3 cos square t. Understood this part, my children? Right, into d by dt of cos t, because we assumed here cos t as x in your mind. So we differentiate that function. Understood this part, my children? Right, minus cos cube t into, it is in the form of d by dx of root x. Assume this cos 2t as x in your mind. So it is in the form of d by dx of root x. What is the formula d by dx of root x? Yes, 1 by 2 root x. So 1 by 2 root x means cos 2t. X means here cos 2t. Again we have to differentiate whatever we function assumed as x in your mind, we have to differentiate it. So d by dt of 2t. Understood this part, my children? Right, whole divided by, come to the denominator, square root and square gets cancelled. What will you get here? Cos 2t in the denominator. Understood this step, my children? What are the formulas we used in this step? D by dx of x power n is equal to n into x power n minus 1 formula. D by dx of root x is equal to 1 by root x formula, and chain rule also. Understood, my children? Right. This implies I wrote LHS as it is dy by dt is equal to, okay, 3 into cos square t root cos 2t into d by dt of cos t means minus sin t. Okay, my children? Minus, understood this term, my children? Right. Minus cos cube t by 2 root cos 2t into d by dt of cos 2t. What is the formula? D by dx of cos x. You have to assume 2t as x in your mind. So minus sin 2t into d by dt of 2t. Understood this part, my children? Right. Whole divided by cos 2t. In this step we used d by dx of cos x is equal to minus sin x, and d by dx of x is equal to 1, and chain rule. Okay, my children? Right. This implies LHS I wrote dy by dt as it is. Now come to the first term, minus 3 cos square t sin t root cos 2t. Understood this first term, my children? Right. Come to the second term, minus of minus, what will you get here? Plus cos cube t into sin 2t by root cos 2t. Understood this part, my children? Right. Into d by dt of 2t means 2 only. Whole divided by cos 2t. Understood this step, my children? Right. This implies dy by dt, I wrote LHS part as it is equal to, by taking the LCM here, 2 gets cancelled, by taking LCM root cos 2t, we get here minus 3 cos square t sin t cos 2t. Okay, my children? Understood this first term, my children? Right. Plus cos cube t sin 2t. Okay, my children? Understood this second term in the numerator part? Right. Whole divided by, it comes into the denominator, and root cos 2t into root cos 2t. What will you get here? In the denominator cos 2t whole power 3 by 2. We have done that part in the case of dx by dt. Understood this part, my children? Right. Now we find dy by dx. We have found dx by dt previously, and we got here dy by dt also. Then dy by dt by dx by dt. Dy by dx is equal to dy by dt by dx by dt. That is equal to, I wrote this one, cos cube t sin 2t minus 3 cos square t sin t cos 2t by the denominator, the numerator dx by dt, we got 3 cos 2t sin square t cos t plus sin cube t sin 2t. Here cos 2t whole power 3 by 2 gets cancelled. Okay, my children, I simplified that one and directly I wrote this step. Understood this step, my children? Right. This is the value of dy by dx. Okay, my children? Right.